You wake up every day promising that today will be different, that today you'll train, study, work on that project that could change your life. But when the time comes, you negotiate. You make up an excuse. You postpone. And at the end of the day, you look in the mirror and feel that stabbing feeling gnawing inside. I could have done more. Have you been through this? Then pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. Because the problem isn't lack of discipline. It's something far more dangerous. It's fear. And you're living under its orders. Japanese samurai philosophy never had time for emotional self-help or Instagram motivational quotes. Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest swordsman in Japanese history, never taught his disciples to feel motivated. He taught something far more cruel and far more effective. He taught that discipline isn't a feeling, it's a death decision. Literally. Because on the battlefield, hesitating for 1 second means losing your head. And modern life, it's also cutting you down, little by little. Every time you give in, every time you postpone, every time you choose comfort over action, you're dying in slow motion. Stay with me until the end of this video because you're going to learn 5 brutal truths about discipline that come directly from the samurai code, the ones that modern culture hides from you because they're too hard to swallow. The 5th truth, almost no one accepts it. It goes against everything you've been taught about. Productivity, routine, and success. But it's precisely the one that separates those who act from those who only dream. Because let's be honest, you don't need another video telling you that you're capable, that just believe, or that everything will work out if you try. You've heard that 1,000 times, and you're still in the same place. What you need is something that shakes you from the inside, that pulls you out of your emotional comfort zone, that makes you look in the mirror and admit the naked truth. You're afraid. Afraid of failing, afraid of being judged, afraid of truly committing and discovering that maybe you're not as strong as you imagine. And you know what the samurai did with fear? They didn't eliminate it. They dominated it. They transformed it into fuel. Miyamoto Musashi said, "You need to accept death before each battle. Only then do you act with total clarity." This isn't a metaphor. It's literally what he did. And it's what you need to apply in your life. Right now. Not waiting for the perfect Monday. Not waiting for the right moment. Because the right moment never comes for those who aren't ready to bleed. What you're about to discover may surprise you. Because it's not about miracle techniques. It's not about waking up at 5 a.m. or having a billionaire's routine. It's about something much deeper and more disturbing. It's about how you deal with the truth about yourself. About how you face the mirror when no one is watching. About what you do when no one will applaud, when no one will recognize, when you're alone with your broken promises. So take a deep breath, because from now on, the conversation is going to get uncomfortable. And if you're ready for this, and before I show you these 5 truths that will turn your game upside down, I need to ask you something. And it's not just for me, it's for you too. Because what happens here isn't just about consuming content and leaving. It's about creating a movement, a community of people who are tired of mediocrity, tired of living on autopilot, tired of negotiating with their own weakness. So do this now. Go to the comments and write a simple but powerful phrase. I choose to act, not negotiate. Did you know that every time you leave a comment like this, you're helping spread Japanese philosophy teachings to more people? YouTube's algorithm understands that this content is generating real impact. And with that, more people who need to hear these truths will find this video. You're not just commenting, you're opening doors for those still trapped in their own excuses. So comment below and become part of an exclusive community focused on transforming lives, not just watching passively. And another thing, if you made it this far and haven't liked this video yet, do it now, seriously. Because when you like, YouTube understands the content is valuable and it reaches more people who are stuck in the same cycle you are in. It's literally 1 click. It's free. But the impact? Huge. You're helping other people wake up to reality without spending anything but half a second of your time. So leave your like now, not for me, but for those who will watch this video after you and finally have the courage to change. And before continuing with the 5 brutal truths, check if you're already part of this path. Subscribe to the channel now, because the next videos are part of a complete series to forge discipline, strong mindset, and prepare you to enter 2026 on another level. It's not clickbait. It's a structured path based on ancient philosophy and high-performance psychology. Your participation here is what makes this channel grow and reach more people with this type of content. Content that doesn't deceive you with empty promises, but delivers the raw truth even if it hurts. Now, let's get straight to what matters. The truth. No one tells you. Miyamoto Musashi wasn't an office philosopher or a motivational guru selling speeches. He was a man who killed his first opponent at 13 years old and spent his entire life testing his ideas in the only laboratory where truth cannot be disguised. The battlefield. 61 duels, 61 victories, 0 defeats. And you know what his secret was? It wasn't natural talent, it wasn't luck. It was something much more uncomfortable to admit. He accepted that life is war, that every decision is a blade pointed at yourself, and that hesitating is dying. And when I say dying, I'm not just talking about physical death. I'm talking about that slow death you feel every day when you look in the mirror and realize you're living a smaller version of who you could be. The Japanese philosophy that Musashi left, recorded in the Book of Five Rings, isn't about fluffy spirituality or Zen balance with incense and guided meditation. It's about facing the raw truth about yourself. It's about understanding that you're at war every day. War against laziness, against fear, against the part of you that wants to give up when no one is watching. And worse, you're losing this war. Not because you're weak, but because no one ever taught you the real rules of the game. No one told you that discipline isn't about feeling like it. No one explained that real transformation hurts, bleeds, tears away pieces of who you were to build who you need to be. So I'm going to warn you now before continuing. This isn't comfort. It's confrontation. What comes next won't make you feel good about yourself. It won't give you that emotional hug you expect from motivational videos. It will shake you. It will force you to face truths you've been avoiding for years. Because this isn't about swords or samurai from the past. It's about defeating the fear that's controlling your life right now at this exact moment. The fear that makes you postpone, that makes you negotiate, that turns you into a hostage of your own excuses. Musashi's teachings still work today because he wasn't talking about combat, techniques. He was talking about mindset, about how you make decisions under pressure, about how you act when the world is crumbling around you and no one will save you. And the hidden truth that few realize is that you're already in this situation, just in a modern, silent way, masked by comfort and distractions. You're in a duel with yourself every day, and you're losing. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because the first brutal truth that Musashi taught is something that goes against everything modern society has sold you about success and achievement. Comment: I am at war with myself. Truth number 1. Discipline isn't born from motivation, it's born from faced fear. The first brutal truth that Miyamoto Musashi delivers right to your face is this: discipline isn't born from motivation, it's born from faced fear. And this completely destroys that beautiful narrative you were taught to believe, that story that you need to feel like it, that you need to be inspired, that you need to wait for the right moment where everything aligns perfectly and you finally feel ready to act. Musashi never waited to feel ready. He never woke up on a sunny morning, looked at the horizon and thought, "Today I feel motivated to enter a life or death duel." No, he woke up, grabbed his sword and went, because he knew a hidden truth that modern society hides from you. Motivation is emotion. Discipline is decision. Motivation is that wave of energy that hits you when you watch an inspiring video, when you hear exciting music, when you see someone successful and think, "I want that too." It's pleasant, it's exciting, and it lasts exactly until the first real obstacle appears, when the alarm goes off at 5 in the morning and it's cold outside, when you need to sit and work but your brain begs for distraction, when no one is watching and it would be so much easier to simply not do it. Motivation abandons you, always, because it's an emotion, and emotions are unstable, fleeting, dependent on external circumstances. You don't control when it comes and much less when it leaves. Discipline, on the other hand, is the cold decision to act even when every cell in your body is screaming for you to stop. It's the conscious choice to do what needs to be done, not because you want to, but because you decided you will. And Japanese samurai philosophy teaches you something disturbing about this. Fear never disappears. Never. You don't evolve to a point where you know. longer feel fear, you just become stronger than it. Musashi faced 61 duels and felt fear in all of them. The difference is that he didn't negotiate with fear. He didn't wait for fear to pass. He acted despite fear. And every time you act despite fear, you don't eliminate it, you dominate it. You prove to yourself that it doesn't have control. You do. Waiting for willingness is the ritual of the weak. It's what mediocre people do all their lives while watching other people build empires, transform bodies, create careers, live the life they themselves dream of having. And you know what those people who really build know? That the journey begins precisely when you don't want to begin. That real transformation happens the moment you choose to act against internal resistance, against comfort, against the voice that says tomorrow, because tomorrow is the most comforting lie you tell yourself every day. Comment, I act despite fear. Truth Matu, fear isn't an enemy, it's a test. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject because the second truth that Miyamoto Musashi reveals will completely flip how you see fear. And this revelation is simple, but devastating. Fear isn't an enemy. It's a test. It's a giant, luminous signpost pointing exactly toward the direction you need to walk. Think about it. Every time you feel afraid to do something, what does that mean? It means it matters, that it has weight, that it can change something in your life. You don't feel fear brushing your teeth or drinking coffee. You feel fear starting that project, having that difficult conversation, making that decision that could transform everything. Fear is the emotional GPS showing you where the exit door from your comfort zone is. Japanese philosophy teaches that all real advancement generates fear. There's no growth without discomfort. There's no transformation without risk. And what do most people do? They interpret fear as a danger signal, as a warning to retreat, not to risk, to stay where it's safe. But safety is disguised stagnation. You can spend years, even decades, living a safe life, and wake up one day realizing you wasted everything because you were afraid to try. Musashi understood this in a brutal way. Every time you run from fear, you're teaching weakness to your brain. You're programming it to believe that thing that scares you is really too dangerous, too unattainable, too big for you. And then you create a pattern, a vicious cycle where fear grows, strengthens, dominates more and more territory in your mind. But the opposite is also true. And here's the part few understand. Courage isn't a gift. It's not something you're born with or without. Courage is trainable. Every time you face fear, even if it's a tiny step, you're strengthening the muscle of courage. You're showing your brain it was wrong, that you're capable, that it wasn't as deadly as it seemed. And over time, the impact is gigantic. You'll realize that fear keeps showing up, but it gets smaller, weaker, less convincing, because you have a track record now. You have concrete proof that you've beaten it before, and that changes everything. Fear only dominates those who obey. This phrase should be engraved in your mind, because every time you choose to obey fear, postpone, avoid, give up, you're handing over control of your life to it. And fear is a cruel master. It will never give you permission to act. It will never say, okay, now you can go. It will invent infinite excuses, create imaginary obstacles, whisper that you should wait a little longer, that it's not the right time yet. And while you wait, life passes, opportunities disappear, and you stay there, stuck, watching others advance while you negotiate with your own weakness. Comment, I don't obey fear. Truth number 3, whoever seeks comfort trains to lose. And here we arrive at a truth that will hurt, especially because it directly attacks the lifestyle that was sold to you as ideal. The third, brutal lesson from Miyamoto Musashi is this: whoever seeks comfort trains to lose. Japanese samurai philosophy was radically anti-comfort, not because they were masochists or because they enjoyed suffering, but because they understood a hidden truth about human nature. Comfort is slow poison. Comfort is the illusion that you're fine, when in reality, you're just avoiding growth. Every time you choose the easier path, you're literally training your brain to give up when things get difficult. You're programming weakness. You're teaching your body and mind that when pressure increases, the right response is to retreat. Think about your routine. How many times a day do you negotiate with yourself? The alarm goes off and you think, just 5 more minutes. You have an important task to do, but you choose to scroll through Instagram because you need to relax a bit. You know you should train, study, work on that project, but you decide that today you deserve rest. And then comes the cruel part. Each of these micro-negotiations seems harmless, it even seems reasonable. After all, you worked hard, you deserve a break, right? Wrong. What you're doing is strengthening the muscle of giving up. You're creating a behavior pattern where whenever resistance arises, you yield. And over time, this becomes automatic. You don't even notice anymore. You simply accept that you're just like that you don't have discipline, that you can't maintain consistency. Musashi woke up and acted without negotiating. There was no internal debate, there was no "I'll see how I feel." There was only the decision already made and immediate execution, because he knew that the moment of decision isn't when you're in the middle of action, it's before, when you're still in a neutral state. If you wait until you're in bed, sleepy, to decide whether to get up or not, you've already lost. The decision needs to be made the night before, when you set the alarm and tell yourself, no matter how I feel tomorrow, I'm getting up. And then when the moment comes, you don't think, you act, even tired, even without wanting to, even when it would be 1,000 times nicer to stay there, warm, protected. Real transformation happens backstage in your life, in moments no one sees, when you do what needs to be done instead of what's easy. Because daily comfort creates lifelong regret. This phrase should be tattooed on your soul. Every time you choose comfort, you're mortgaging the future. You're trading the person you could become for the temporary sensation of relief. And worse, you know it. Deep down, you always knew. Comment, I choose constructive discomfort. And look, if you're really taking this seriously, if what I've said so far made sense to you and you want to go deeper into this transformation journey, I've prepared material that can help you in a practical and direct way. It's a guide called The Path of Japanese Discipline. This material will show you exactly how to transform your ordinary mind into a disciplined, focused, and unshakable mind, capable of acting every day, even when motivation fails, even when fatigue weighs heavy, and even when no one is watching. The ancestral method inside this guide teaches how to eliminate procrastination, master unstable emotions, and build the silent consistency that shapes true winners. It's not about fleeting enthusiasm, but rather developing the mental power that sustains permanent results. Over 1 million copies have been sold, and now you can be part of this transformation too. It's here in the video description, but I need to warn you, this content can be taken down at any moment. I don't know how long I'll leave it available, so if it makes sense to you, take advantage while it's still accessible. This material is complementary to what we talked about here and can save you a lot of time in practice, delivering you a structured method instead of you having to put the pieces together alone. Take a look, and if it's useful to you, secure your access now. But back to what matters. Truth more 4. Real discipline is silent. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because the fourth truth that Miyamoto Musashi delivers to you is one of the hardest to accept in the era of social media, motivational stories, and the constant need for external validation. And this truth is simple, but cuts deep. Real discipline is silent. Musashi never announced his plans. He didn't keep telling everyone he was going to train, that he was going to face such opponent, that he was preparing for this or that. He simply trained, faced, won, and only afterwards did people discover what he had done, because he understood something most people today completely ignore. Talking about what you're going to do drains the energy you should use to actually do it. Every time you announce a goal, every time you post on social media that you're starting a transformation journey, every time you tell friends about that incredible project that will change your life, something happens in your brain. You receive a microdose of dopamine. People react, comment, congratulate you, and your brain interprets that as if you had already achieved something, as if the simple act of declaring intention were enough, and then you lose momentum, because the emotional reward you should receive after doing the work, you've already received beforehand, just by talking about it. And when it's time to actually execute, you no longer have that emotional fuel, that urgency, that burning desire to prove to yourself that you're capable. Japanese philosophy teaches that silence is focus. When you keep your plans to yourself, when you work backstage without announcing every step you're taking, you're concentrating all your energy on execution. There's no dispersion, there's no ego competing for attention, There's no need to manage others' expectations or deal with opinions from people who aren't even in the arena with you. You simply do, day after day, without audience, without applause, without immediate recognition. And this, my friend, is where true strength is forged. Less talk, more action, less ego, more constancy. These two equations are the secret no one wants to hear because they require humility. They require you to give up external validation, to let go of the need to be seen, recognized, admired. Musashi didn't seek applause. He sought excellence. And excellence doesn't shout. It doesn't need to, because results speak for themselves. When you really do the work, when you build something solid, when you truly transform your life, people will notice. But they'll notice by the impact, not by the announcement. By what you became, not by what you said you were going to become. The true warrior doesn't seek applause, he seeks victory. And victory isn't loud. It's silent, consistent, inevitable. It's the result of 1,000 decisions no one saw, of 1,000 battles fought alone, of 1,000 times you chose to act instead of perform. Comment, I build in silence. Truth number 5, the most brutal. You don't have a time problem. You're afraid of being great. And now we arrive at the 5th truth, the most brutal. The one almost no one accepts because it rips away all the masks, all the excuses, all the justifications you use to protect yourself from reality. And this truth is this: you don't have a time problem. You're afraid of being great. Miyamoto Musashi spent his entire life destroying this comfortable illusion that people build around their own mediocrity. He knew that when someone says, "I don't have time," what that person is really saying is, "I'm afraid to truly commit and discover who I really am when there are no more excuses." Think about it. You have time to scroll through Instagram for an hour. You have time to watch series. You have time to complain about life with friends. You have time to do literally anything that doesn't require you to leave your emotional comfort zone. But when it's time to do that thing that really matters, that decision that could change everything, suddenly you don't have time. It's not lack of time, it's fear. Fear of failing and proving to yourself that maybe you're not as capable as you like to imagine. Fear of succeeding and having to abandon the victim identity, of the person who didn't have opportunities, of someone who is just like that. Because as long as you don't really try, you can maintain the fantasy that if you tried, you would succeed. But the moment you try and fail, that fantasy dies, and that terrifies. Japanese philosophy confronts you with something even deeper: the fear of changing identity. You spent years building an image of who you are, and that image, however limited it may be, is known. It's safe, you know how to function in it. But if you really transform, if you really become this disciplined, focused, relentless version of yourself, you'll have to abandon the known weak self. You'll have to leave behind the excuses that have accompanied you all your life. You'll have to stop hiding behind the narrative that you didn't have time, or didn't have luck, or weren't born with the right gift. And that's terrifying, because it means assuming total responsibility. It means looking in the mirror and admitting, everything I haven't achieved until today was because I chose not to achieve it. Saying there wasn't time hurts less than admitting I was afraid. It's much more comfortable to blame circumstances, lack of resources, the daily rush. But the hidden truth that Musashi throws in your face is that greatness isn't a matter of circumstance. It's a matter of decision, and you're afraid to make that decision because it takes away your right to remain small. It forces you to play for real. The true transformation journey begins when you stop negotiating with your own greatness. Comment, I choose to be great. The path of the modern samurai. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because after everything we've talked about here, you need to understand what it really means to apply Japanese philosophy in your life today, in 2026, far from battlefields, far from swords, far from the samurai era. And the truth is, the path remains the same. The form has changed, but the essence remains intact. What Miyamoto Musashi teaches you isn't about physical combat. It's about internal combat. It's about the daily war you wage against the weak version of yourself. And this war, it never ends. It has no truce. It has no weekend. Every day you wake up and need to choose again. Am I going to surrender to comfort, or am I going to face the necessary discomfort to grow? Discipline is daily courage. It's not an isolated, heroic moment where you decide to turn your life upside down in a single grand gesture. It's the courage to wake up early, even when it's cold. It's the courage to keep working when no one is applauding. It's the courage to commit to a long, boring, repetitive process with no guarantees of immediate success. It's the courage to look in the mirror and admit you're not yet who you promised to be, but that you'll keep trying anyway. Because the path of the modern samurai isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about getting up every time you fall. It's about transforming every defeat into a lesson, every failure into fuel, every pain into strength. Fear isn't a sign to stop. This phrase needs to be engraved on your soul. Fear will appear, always, at each new stage, at each new challenge, at each important decision. And every time it appears, you'll have the same choice: obey or dominate. Life rewards those who face, not those who have unlimited courage, but those who act even with limited fear. Not those who never doubt, but those who continue even while doubting. Not those who were born strong, but those who chose to strengthen themselves through the daily battles no one sees. Musashi didn't conquer the world, he conquered himself, and that's the only path that still works. Because the world out there, you don't control it. The circumstances, you don't control them. What other people think of you, you don't control that. But your response, that you control. Your decision to act or give up, that you control. Your commitment to your own transformation, that you control. And when you truly understand this, when you stop outsourcing responsibility for your life to external factors and assume total control over your choices, everything changes. The journey stops being about luck and becomes about decision. Comment: I conquered myself. And if you made it this far, I know you're no longer an ordinary person looking for cheap motivation. You're someone willing to look at the truth, however uncomfortable it may be, and do something about it. And that already puts you ahead of most. So if this content made sense to you, subscribe to the channel now, because the next videos will continue in this same vein. No beating around the bush, no empty promises, just truths that actually work. This is a path we're going to walk together, and I want you here on this journey. And leave a comment down there writing, "Samurai Discipline Activated." This shows me you really absorbed what was said here and that you're ready to apply it. Besides, when you comment, you help this video reach more people who need to hear exactly this. So comment, really. If you haven't left a like yet, do it now. Because the like isn't just a click. It's your way of saying this type of content needs to exist, that you value this frank and direct conversation we had here, and that strengthens the channel to keep delivering this level of depth to you. There's a video here on the side that perfectly complements this subject. Click and continue with me there, because what you learned today is just the beginning. Real transformation happens when you chain these truths, one after another, until they become part of who you are. So go there, hit play, and let's continue this conversation.